All right, guys, I'm back. It's T. I'm back with a brand new video. It's on. It's going to be on a strongman today, man. Yeah, it's going to be on strength sports, I guess you would call it that. Mitchell Hooper, yes, Mitchell Hooper, the so-called strongman, the fake strongman, the strongman slave. I should call him the strongman slave. Yes, that's it. Well, he's really the gear slave, but he's the strongman slave. Okay, well, whatever. The lifting gym gear slave himself. Mitchell Hooper. Mitchell Hooper says, how to get strong simply explains. Well, it's really simple to explain it. He injected these plant genetics and he got strong. That's how he did it.
Strong can feel complicated. And
complicated? Okay, let's hear how he did it. Let's hear his side of the story. I already know how he got strong. He took plant genetics. He even talks about it. He injects plant genetics.
It is, sort of. Come with me to the gym where I'm going to teach you how to get strong as simply as possible. First, we have to start with the brain. The brain is where all the messages to your body are
Oh, really? Is this how you fabricate it? So you inject plant genetics, which give you strength, and then you come up with a fake story, make a video on, hey, how to get strength, how to get strength. What is this exactly?
And without that, it's like having a car without an ignition. And frankly, you just won't get very far.
Injecting plant genetics. Who cares about that? Inject plant genetics. More trend than the last time.
When we send a signal from the brain to the body.
Yeah, okay, whatever, man. Have you seen this guy? He used to run marathons. You know how skinny he was? And all of a sudden he's a big fat guy lifting heavy weights after injecting what? Plant genetics. And all of a sudden he's a strong man. He's entering competitions and everything, injecting plant genetics. He's somebody now. He's Mitchell Hooper. Mitchell, the fake Hooper. If they didn't exist, do you think Hooper would exist? If these plant genetics that he's injecting didn't exist, do you think he would exist? No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't be anywhere.
It's like pushing a gas pedal to move the car.
Sure it is. Injecting plant genetics is like pushing a gas pedal on a car? I didn't know that.
Of course, that's an oversimplification. So let's talk about how the body's a little bit different. Now, of course,
yes, tell us how it's different. Yes.
We can't work like a car and send a message to all of the wheels or all the muscles in our body because we would just end up in spasm. So let's pretend we're in battle. This is the brain and these are muscles, or this is the general and these are the soldiers. Once you want to perform a movement or send into battle, the general has to choose which group of soldiers are we going to send in. If he comes over.
Look, man, I have a thing for you, Hooper, Mitchell Hooper. If you're so strong, stop injecting these plant genetics and let's see how much you can lift. Huh?
We're here and sends in this group and it's the wrong group, they're going to lose the battle. Same thing if we were over here. Now, in the same way, our brain, when we're performing...
Why would they lose the battle? What if they cheated and they injected some plant genetics? Hey, Hooper. And then they won.
Movements has to think, what muscle or what muscle groups are we going to be able to use to perform that movement?
Who gives a shit what we have to do? Just inject more plant genetics, trembolone into your butt, and you'll be able to lift that weight, dude.
They're called motor units. Now, our brain doesn't have a...
Oh, you're going to recruit motor units in plant genetics injection.
bicep motor unit and a quad motor unit. All we have is a learning process by which we learn bicep flexion.
You know, man, listening to this guy, I'm telling you, I watch these videos sometimes. I can't stop laughing. I even I just whisper stuff as the guy's talking. Sometimes I'm watching a video, I'm just laughing at this ridiculous. Come on, man. Everybody knows he's injecting plant genetics. I want to tell you about strength motor units and everything. Yeah, motor units in the natural world, natural bodies, like the way they really work. Yes, that's how they work. But his strength is fake strength. It's phony strength. But he's going to try to explain to you about strength. Give me a break, man. Why doesn't he just tell you what he's doing? Injecting these plant genetics.
We learn knee extension, we learn knee flexion, we learn hip extension, and we have to learn all of those individually. The ability for your...
Let me tell you, people, the reason people inject steroids is so they don't have to do any of that, Mitch, like you.
Brain or the general to choose the group of muscles or the group of soldiers going into battle is going to be the most potent way to get strong. When you get behind the wheel of a master, potent way to get strong.
Oh my God, he's such a liar. Whatever. That's not how he got strong. Look at him. Does this look normal to you?
Now, we have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic is fight, flight, lift, train, all of our life stress.
Who cares? Just you got plant genetics. What the hell do you need that for? What do you care about that, man?
And parasympathetic is our rest and digest.
Yeah, we have the parasympathetic. We have the trembolone, masterone. We have parabolin, primobolin, Depop, Winsroll. And then we have Anavar over here, some Anadrol 50, Sustanon 250 over here. Well, yeah, man, more testosterone, cypionate, you know, whatever, propionate, and all these other ones, whatever. Yeah, dude. Yeah, maybe some D-ball on top of it. Yeah, man.
Show this with glasses of water. Here, we've got a glass of hot water and a glass of cold water.
Oh, yeah.
If you put these together, well, we don't have hot water and cold water. We have neither hot or cold. Our sympathetic nervous system works the same way,
really?
Where parasympathetic and sympathetic can't be on at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
If you try to use one too much, it's just going to wear out, and you're going to end up with lukewarm water or just a shitty firing nervous system.
Why don't you just tell us how you get your strength? Where does your strength come from?
When it comes to the nervous system in recovery, there's really only 3 things you need to make sure you're recovering your absolute best. The first one is going to be sleep. Now, to sleep well, we're going to need a cooler room. We're going to need to shut all the lights off and make the room as dark as possible.
Now, you could call this guy the artificial strength slave with those artificial muscles.
And for the hour before bedtime, there's going to be no phones.
Well, I wanted to talk to you. The office is a giant mess.
Shh. Managing life stress is number 2. Number 3 is establishing proper nutrition. Making sure you get not only your macros, but your micros with your fruits and vegetables and natural food sources. It's going to make sure that you're recovering as well as possible. If you're nailing all those 3...
Oh yeah, all that sugar is going to make you recover. Yes, sure. It's going to make you super strong.
You're still not recovering properly. Well, it's now time to get your blood work done to make sure everything is going okay.
Don't steroid users recover fast, Mitch Hooper? They recover astronomically fast.
Okay. Personally, I use blokes. Off the back of this, you get a consultation with a
doctor. Oh my God, what is this? Advertising? I don't want this, man.
What we need to look at with muscles is the cross-sectional area or the thickness of the muscle. The thicker the muscle, the more motor units you're going to have to recruit, and the more potential you have to increase.
The thicker the muscles, the more motor units you're going to have to recruit. Oh, okay. Well, what about these skinny people, these ectomorphs, Mitchell? How about these people? They're not fat. The regular people. How thick are those muscles? How many are they going to recruit? How many of these motor units are they going to recruit, dude?
Strength. But it's not as simple as that, because with more muscle comes more responsibility. Now that...
Yeah, the problem is you're not building more muscle, you're building artificial muscle. We know it. We know it's artificial, dude. Come on, man. It isn't myofibrillar sarcoplasmic. Don't lie to us.
Responsibility is to fuel and repair those muscles.
Your strength is based on plant genetics, hormones, injecting them. Yeah, that diesel crap is not gonna build any muscle, okay? It's not used to repair, it's garbage. Waste product.
To repair, you're gonna need your protein.
No, you're not. You're gonna be you need to repair anything in your body if it's damaged, you need to be in a positive nitrogen balance. That's associated with repair and growth. It puts you in an anabolic growth state. So he's faking it, man. He's making this stuff up.
For fuel, there's 2 ways we get our fuel. One is creatine. Supplementary creatine, no question.
No, man, that's artificial. Again, that's fake. It's made in a laboratory. Beef and animal fat's going to be your fuel, broski.
Number 2 is going to be your carbohydrates. Creatine provides you...
Carbohydrates aren't natural. It's not something humans eat, but they tend to eat them, yes. I would call it the carbohydrate drug-induced diet because that's what it is. Sugar is a drug. You can call it anything you want. It's a drug, dude.
Energy in the first 5 seconds of movement.
Yeah, there's bursts of energy there, but it can spike your insulin depending on the carb you're eating.
Carbohydrates stored as glycogen in your body is going to provide...
Yeah, stored as glycogen in your muscle, giving you this artificial fake muscle look because you're taking steroids, so it's grabbing it more than it would usually do. It's drawing it in there, a lot of it, to preserve you. It's thinking you're dying because you're starving.
The energy for the next 30 to 60 seconds, which is how long a set will normally take in the strength world.
Hey everyone, one of the questions I get asked
30 to 60 seconds, which is how long a set will normally take in the strength world.
Yes, in the fake strength world, how much a set's going to take? Yes, okay, Mr. Mitchell Hooper. In what way is this going to benefit all the natural people that are out there with your fake strength, your fake lifts, and everything else, and what you're doing fakely injecting? Why don't you just tell them the truth? What are you injecting there for that strength? Plant genetics, bro. Just tell the truth.
Now, let's tie this all together for your training. When it comes to your nerves, there are really three things that we can...
Yeah, when it comes to my nerves. Here, man, I dare you to get off your gear. I dare you to get off there and completely off and start lifting. Let's see what you can lift.
On to be able to increase.
Well, you keep saying you're strong. You're going to move these motor units. You're going to move heaven and earth and all that to lift these weights. Let's see you do it. You yourself do it without drugs.
The nerve potential. One is increasing the nerve conduction velocity. That's a positive adaptation to training and is also correlated with lower body fat.
Really? How's that working for you?
Percentages. Next, increased nerve size is actually another positive adaptation to training that allows the message to be sent faster. Why is this useful? Well, faster messaging means that your brain to your body connects at a faster rate, and you'll be able to perform the movements without a lag in time between sending the message and performing the movement. This might
sounds like chemical. It sounds like this strength is based on chemicals. Okay. Isn't plant genetics a chemical, Mr. Mitch Hooper?
be a matter of microseconds, but those are extremely important when it comes to recruiting all of your motor units at the same time for a powerful, coordinated contraction. Now, how do we improve those qualities? Well, we need to train volume, and we need to train fast. Now, the volume has to be at a relative...
Well, I like training fast, and I like volume. I mean, if you're talking like regular people, yeah.
High load for you so that we build strength and we recruit the proper motor units. It's possible at lighter loads to use...
How do we build strength exactly? So that we release chemicals to give us strength? So that the body releases chemicals to give us strength? Is that it?
Different motor units that are less able to fatigue.
Sure. And they bind with these receptors, right? Less to fatigue. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's it. That's making you strong, yes.
But much less powerful. And that's why we have to lift heavy. Now, that group of motor units...
That's why we have to lift heavy, but what if we get stronger? Then we're going to lift heavier, aren't we? We have to start somewhere, right? Lifting, right? You said motor units. Okay. So we start lifting, we come back the next day, and we feel a little bit stronger, right? Got chemical release, whatever. So we keep lifting heavier and heavier. Okay, yeah. All right.
Become more and more refined, your movements will become more refined. And if we think of something like a squat, it's going to take a long time to be able to coordinate calves, hamstrings, glutes, quads, your core muscles, really your whole body to be able to perform the movement well. Contrast that with something as simple as a bicep curl, and you can realize how much practice actually goes into doing these things well internally. When we're structuring a program, the vast majority should be done at heavy load or fast, depending on the time of year. Now, this is only for strength. You'll notice that strength and growth...
So this is only for strength, but I thought if you build muscles, you get strong, right? I don't get it.
Growing muscle is not necessarily the same thing. Now, I offer...
Growing muscle is not necessarily the same thing. It is. You grow muscle and then you get stronger. It's permanent strength. It's based on natural permanent strength. You don't have to keep practicing. That's the point of building muscle. It protects you, makes you stronger. What are you talking about?
Resources for both of these. I'll pop those the link in the description. But there's a muscle building program, there's a powerlifting program, and the real difference between these...
That makes no sense. There's a muscle building program and a powerlifting program. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know if he even knows what a muscle building program is. Man, a powerlifting program? Okay.
These styles of approaches is that building muscle relies on either high mechanical tension, high muscle stretch, or high intensity. Any combination.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It relies on the satellite cell and these nuclei, and you gaining more of these nuclei and furthering that MND size limit. That's all it is. And you being in a positive nitrogen balance and anabolic growth state. Protein synthesis exceeds that breakdown after your workout. And you going through a repair and a remodeling. That's what it really is. It's really trying to get more of these nuclei to to support further muscle growth because they synthesize protein. Without them, you can't further that domain.
Those should get you good results so long as you are training somewhere close to failure and relatively hard. When it comes
Yeah, failure and hard, it doesn't say in science that it gets you these nuclei. What it says is when the muscle is injured, when it has these microscopic injuries, then and only then does the satellite cell come out of quiescence and donate its nuclei. But it has to reach the domain limit first. Look, during hypertrophic process, the first process when you come in, it has to reach that domain limit. In other words, it has to reach a ceiling limit. Now that it's at a ceiling limit and you're lifting, well, that would be the second stage. So now you cause some damage, and then it won't come out. It won't come out if you didn't reach a ceiling limit. Look, the progenitor, the satellite cell isn't going to donate any nuclei just because you're injuring fibers. You can get an apoptosis if you're not eating enough. You have by the end of the week during the repair and the remodeling, it'll reach a ceiling limit because it'll hypertrophy. You understand me? And then that progenitor can't donate any extra nuclei to support further muscle growth. You understand me? By the end of the week. Now they hypertrophied, you got bigger, you got these nuclei, bam. Now you repeat that same cycle. You damage it. Again, you injure the muscle fibers. You get these nuclei, and protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. You need to be in a positive nitrogen balance the entire week during the repair and growth period. See what I mean? Well, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
building strength, we need to be training the nervous.
That's how you build strength. You build strength there and you build muscle at the same time. What are you talking about?
Very low volumes, very high loads, so we're able to carry that through to be able to get a new 1 rep max. But remember what I said before, you can't train any
Who cares about 1 rep maxes? I want to lift 10 rep, 20 rep maxes.
individual component too much, or else you train the soldiers or the muscles too hard and they're just not able to do the work anymore. Conversely, you train the general too hard, or you train heavy strength training too hard, and the messages just won't get sent very well. In this, we've got a chunk of training, let's call it 4 to 6 weeks, and then we're going to have 1 week of deload. This gives your nervous system time to recover. It also lets your soft tissue catch up, and you're much less susceptible to injury. If we allow all that to happen, you should be able to progress fairly well over the long term. Now,
You're not going to progress. Nobody will. Want to know why? Because there's something called repeat about effect. It protects muscle from a repeat about of any damage. Plus, it reached the ceiling limit during hypertrophic process beyond where the progenitor can donate any more extra nuclei to that domain to support what? Further muscle growth. A whole bunch of things regulate that domain, man. It's so protected, you have no idea. You have to get over it every week.
next one block into the next block should not be directly related to each other. Now, they can be similar, but you need to have some sort of change to be able to not burn out. That stimulus over time has to...
Look, man, if you want to get good at lifting these weights, then keep practicing at them. That's all you have to do. You incrementally add more weight every day you come back to the gym. Let's say you're deadlifting. You can come every day and deadlift, like a factory worker lifting boxes in a factory. Every day he comes back to work, he gets better at lifting these boxes, but he doesn't get bigger. He lifts heavier, but he doesn't get bigger. And at some point, it'll end. You won't be able to lift anymore because your frame won't take it. And if you try to lift heavier, you'll cripple yourself. That's what will happen. You'll cripple yourself.
Go from either strength to power, strength to hypertrophy, power to strength. But the training objective has...
As you're getting older, you're losing power. You're losing strength. You're even losing muscle after the age of 30.
to change slightly. This is why professional strongmen can only peak once or twice a year. Same thing with powerlifters, because it takes so much time, energy, and attention, and then so much recovery on the back end to be able to get the most from your body.
No, it doesn't, man. They take steroids. They don't need any of that.
When we look at 1 week of training, we have to think first, how many days a week are you going to train? When training for strength, this answer might surprise you. The more trained you are and the closer to genetic potential, the less often you can train.
Genetic potential in what? Your genetic potential, you mean in lifting a heavy weight? Based on chemical strength? Yeah, okay. You could call it that if you want. All right. What about it?
Now, this both refers to chronological age and to training age, where the longer you train, the closer you're going to get to that potential, and the more likely you are to have sympathetic burnout.
Nah, you'll never reach that potential because after about the age of 25 or 30, it starts going downhill. So you're really skating uphill now all the time. It's actually going down, but you're fighting to make it go up. So you're never going to reach that full potential because you're on the way out. You're on the way out.
As a guide, those who are very experienced, close to 1 rep max, maybe a little bit older.
Why do you think people retire at 40? They're on the way out already.
3 times a week is probably the best recommendation for that person. Then, the vast majority of people after that fall into 4 days a week as the optimal training volume.
I'm curious, how old is Mitch Hooper, man? He looks really old. Like, he looks old. Like, I would peg him for some guy in his 50s. Meanwhile, he's probably in his late 20s. He's probably 30, late 20s.
You have some people who can tolerate 5 days a week, and some people like myself who just prefer to come to the gym more often because we love to train, but it might be at the detriment of becoming as strong as you can be. After we have those days, we can start to break it down into what we should actually do. And first, you've got to cover the fundamental movement patterns if you want to be strong and robust. Those are push, pull, carry, overhead press, hinge, and squat.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with him. Yeah, you can do all these, and then inject plant genetics. That's all you have to do is inject these plant genetics like he's doing, and bam, instant strength.
Those 6 movements have to be encompassed in any program looking to make you strong. Personally, I like to break them.
I don't know if it'll make you strong, but it'll help you lift everything heavy. Will it make you strong? No, it won't make you strong. But it'll definitely make you, in the moment, it'll allow you to lift heavy stuff. But when you stop taking the plant genetics, you won't be strong. You'll be weak because it wasn't you.
Up in a 4-day split as 1 hinge day, 1 squat day, 1 overhead day, and 1 horizontal day, where the overhead day is pushing and pulling up above the head, and the horizontal day is pushing and pulling straight towards you. After you get your main movements covered, your accessory movements should cover your weaknesses in those areas. The exact set and rep scheme can vary from person to person, and it's too much for the scope of this video, but I've covered that in those PDFs below, along with the education on why it's structured the way that they are. Hopefully you guys pull something from this video and learn a little bit about how to get strong. Hopefully my analogies landed. Let me know in the comments. If you have nothing else to say,
I don't know. Has it landed? Maybe it has.
Leave a moose dropping. And if you'd like to support the channel, check out the programs or the merchandise, which is linked in the description. As per usual,
okay.
Lift heavy, be kind, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Man, that was just a lot of nonsense. Just inject strength, man. You can inject strength in you. This is the 21st century. Who cares about lifting? See you in the next one. Ciao, friends. So what you think about that? Like, subscribe, support the channel. Man, this is funny. These gym lifting, recruiting slaves, whatever you want to call them, man. Strongman, this fake injecting slave, artificial strength slave, man, is hilarious. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.